הסתבכתי עם בחור אחד, הסתבכתי עם שני, רוצה את שניהם והם רוצים אותי. הם מסתבכים בדו-קרב בדרך עקיפה, אחד רוצה לדעת איפה הוא טעה, השני רוצה לשמוע שהוא הצודק, כי שניהם לא רוצים להיות הזה שיסתלק. כל אחד אותו דבר וכל אחד אחר, אחד הוא עוד צעיר ואחד הוא כבר בוגר, אחד הוא להיום ואחד הוא למחר, וכל אחד מהם אמר לי את אותו דבר. כך אמר לי מותק את גדולה, מותק את יפה, מותק את ספק ילדה ספק אישה. כך אמר לי מותק את גדולה, מותק את יפה, מותק את יודעת שאני מאוהב, אז אל תסבכי פה את המצב. שניהם והם רוצים אותי, כל אחד הפציר בי כשהוא ממורמר, וכל אחד מהם אמר אותו דבר. תבחרי בין שנינו מיהו המתאים, ואפילו אם זה יהיה לך לא נעים, כי אני מסובך והוא מסובך, ואני והוא רוצים אותך. אחד הוא להיום ואחד הוא למחר, וכל אחד מהם אמר לי את אותו דבר. כך אמר לי מותק את גדולה, מותק את יפה, מותק את ספק ילדה ספק אישה. כך אמר לי מותק את גדולה, מותק את יפה, מותק את יודעת שאני מאוהב, אז אל תסבכי פה את המצב. כך אמר לי מותק את גדולה, מותק את יפה, מותק את ספק ילדה ספק אישה. וכך אמר לי מותק את גדולה, מותק את יפה, מותק את יודעת שאני מאוהב, אז אל תסבכי פה את המצב. אמר לי מותק את גדולה, ומותק את יפה, ומותק את אישה, ומותק את ילדה. אמר לי מותק, 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 אמר לי מותק את גדולה, מותק את יפה, מותק את ספק ילדה ספק אישה, מותק את גדולה, מותק את יפה, מותק את ספק ילדה ספק אישה. אמר לי מותק, 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 אמר לי מותק את גדולה, מותק את יפה, מותק את ספק ילדה ספק אישה. וכך אמר לי מותק את גדולה, מותק את יפה.
אני אשיר לך שיר על דברים שלא אמרתי לך, על מה שלא העזתי להוציא מפי. אני אשיר לך שיר לשיר על מה שלא סיפרתי לך עם מנגינה פרטית, שיר רק לך ולי, ואת שוב תעברי לך יפה ומרקדת, ושוב תלכי לך סתם לקנות זוג עגילים. אני אהיה עגיל לך בתנוך אוזנך הלילה, לשמור על זיו פנייך ילדה כמו על לבבי. אני אשיר לך שיר על דברים שלא אמרתי לך, על מה שלא העזתי להוציא מפי. אני אשיר לך שיר על מה שלא סיפרתי לך עם מנגינה פרטית, שיר רק לך ולי. אני אפול לך כמו סמה אל המותניים, אני אהיה שבוי לך ואת לי מבשרי. אצבע לך בכחול את רוב ריסי אלייך, אני אוהב אותך ילדה יותר מה שאותי. אני אשיר לך שיר על דברים שלא
Shalom and welcome to iVision Live. My name is Adi Farkash and I will be the facilitator for today's session. The iVision Live program was developed in the World Zionist Organization, Department of Diaspora Affairs, that I'm proud to be its shlicha and representative in Europe. From Jerusalem, the department is being led by a member of the WZO Executive Board, Mrs. Gusti Yoshua Braverman, and work with a staff of shlichim and educators in 36 different countries around the world. We are proud to develop and offer programs that brings the voices of young Israeli artists, activists, and educators to elaborate the discussion around them for maintaining the role of Israel as a part of their modern Jewish identity. The iVision Live is our response to these days of coronavirus, one that will offer a session with Israeli speakers about different topics and points of interest. This session is being recorded, so if you do not wish to be filmed, please close your camera now. Feel free to comment and ask questions in the chat box down here somewhere. And in the end of the session, Maestro Nir Brand will try to answer as much as possible. Today, we are hosting Maestro Nir Brand, which is international orchestra conductor, founder and director of Classic Kid, a musical educational program, a humanitarian profession worldwide, especially for underprivileged population, and a media personality who can be heard weekly on Galei Tzahal, the Israeli radio station. We are going to unmute all the participants at the end of each song for 5 seconds so we can clap our hands together. It is my honor and privilege to put you in the trustful hands of Maestro Nir Brand, and I'm sure that we will have a wonderful time. Maestro, bevakasha.
Good evening. Good evening, USA. Good evening, England. Good evening, France. Good evening, Uruguay. Good evening, Peru. Good evening. How are you? I'm very glad that you've joined me tonight for a special celebration of life. I'm talking to you from my home, from my living room in Tel Aviv. This is my living room, right at the heart of Tel Aviv, at the Carmel Market. I know you've all been to Israel, and you've been to this, of course, to Carmel Market, but if you're planning to come again, and I'm sure you are, please let me know. Let me know via Facebook, via chat. Let's be friends. Let's be friends, okay? World Zionist Organization is our host tonight. Thank you for that. You know, we were twice thrown out, so to say, from Israel, from our beloved country, twice. And we've yearned to come back. At the first time we sat by the rivers of Babylon and we wept because we remembered Zion. Sing with me, because you know I'm a conductor. I can hear you if you're singing. I'm hearing everything. Let me hear you. By the rivers of Babylon, we lay down and wept for the Zion. We remembered the Zion. Let me hear you. By the river. By the rivers of Babylon, we lay down and wept for the Zion. We remembered the Zion. We remembered the Zion. Remember the Zion. And we had the chance to come back here 2,000 years later. Israel is 72 years now. Isn't this amazing? What does it mean to be a Zionist nowadays, 2020? Let's discuss it. And I'm going to lead this session. We're going to spend 6-7 hours together. We only have 45 minutes. What does it mean to be a Zionist 2020? I'm going to stand on 4 pillars, talking to you and playing to you and singing to you and hearing what you have to say. One pillar is conducting the orchestra. The second one is being an educator for classical music. The third one is being a humanitarian. And the fourth one is being a media personality. Okay, but before we go into all that, let's sing a song. These are strange times, scary times, different times. But we should always remember כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד, כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד. Put your hands together for me. והעיקר לא לפחד, לא לפחד כלל, והעיקר לא לפחד כלל, והעיקר לא לפחד כלל, והעיקר לא לפחד כלל. כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד, כל העולם כולו גשר בשיר צר מאוד, בשיר צר מאוד. העיקר, לא לפחד, לא לפחד כלל. העיקר, העיקר, לא לפחד כלל. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד, לא לפחד כלל. והעיקר, והעיקר, לא לפחד כלל. לא לפחד כלל. Thank you. Zionism 2020. My parents came here to Israel 1951. They were 13 and 12 years of age. And they immigrated, or what we call, they made Aliyah to Israel. I was born in 1961 in the Negev town of Beersheba. Beersheba, the first place our father Abraham came from Iraq to here. He dug 7 wells, I'm sure you all know it. He dug 7 wells, hence Beersheba, 7 wells. I started playing the piano when I was 8, against all odds. There was no piano at home. There was no money, not enough money to pay the fees, but I made it. And it was my passion, since I knew myself, to share the love of music with my friends, with my classmates, with my neighbors, and later, when I became a professional, with kids all over the world. Now, many kids find classical music boring, just because they weren't presented to it in the best way possible. And they're saying it's boring, it's out of date. And then I play them this. Can you sing this with me? Come on. La 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 la. Music is life. Music can teach us how to behave better, how to live better, how to imagine better. Now listen to this. This is my own imagination telling you this story. Once upon a time, there was a little boy back in Austria, Salzburg, Austria. His name was Wolfgang Amadeus, genau, Mozart. He was just a regular guy. He used to wake up every morning, brush his teeth, eat something, dress up, write a symphony, and run to school. One fine day, he was sitting in his classroom. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. In came a beautiful little girl. We will later find out her name was Constanza. He fell in love with her immediately, but he was too shy to let her know how much he loved her. So one fine afternoon, he decided to sing for her. He went to her balcony, stood there, and sang, "Can we meet? Oh, can we meet today?" Because he didn't know, he felt each time we people ask a question, there's a melody underneath our words. And the melody always goes up when we ask a question, right? Can we meet? Oh, can we meet today? Constanza heard him, opened the window and sang, "Not today, come back another day." You know where I'm going, right? Mozart decided not to give up. Like us, Jewish people coming to Israel, we decided to never give up until we came here and we built this beautiful country, which is 72 years of age. So Mozart decided to sing for her. He sang, "Tomorrow is not too good for me. It might be good for you, but not too good for me. We better wait and see, and see, and see. Oh no, I cannot wait a moment more. Without you, life is gonna be a bore, bore, bore. Come on, take my hand and be my wife. We'll be together till the end of time." And he did succeed because they had 6 boys and girls after getting married. You know, Mozart did not live to be old. He died when he was barely 35. But they say a man is alive, a person is alive as long as we speak about him. So look at us today. May 6th, I'm in Tel Aviv. You are all over the world, maybe in Tel Aviv too. And we're talking about a deceased guy. He died in 1791. Shall we sing another little something of his? This is, I'm sure you know this. It's called Turkish March, although it is Sonata number 12. Put your hands together, make yourself comfortable, and let's sing this. Well, we are in the Middle East, right? Great. Let me hear you. Now listen to this. Sit back, enjoy. I hope you're having a good time as much as I'm having here. Thank you. I can see your hands clapping. Thank you so much. Are you okay? I'm good. It's evening here in Tel Aviv. It's 8:20 p.m. in Tel Aviv. It's been a beautiful day today. Sun was blue, sky was blue, sun was shining, and you know, the Tel Aviv food, although many places are still closed, nothing like the food of Tel Aviv. Now, this kind of me becoming a musician, but a committed musician, generous with sharing his love for music, my love for music, with many kids, led to this phone call. One day, my wife, Ilana, God bless her, my better half, got a phone call inviting us to come to Myanmar, which you all know as AKA Burma, to come and play for children who lost all their houses and school due to a typhoon named Nagis. So we came there, which led to a whole tour, because after Myanmar came Kenya and Nigeria and Cameroon and Kenya again and Tanzania and Uganda and Kenya again and India and Peru and Uruguay and places in Europe. I haven't been to the States yet, but I would love you, if you like it, to invite me to the States. When things calm down, to the JCCs, to the concert halls, I'd love to come and do what I do best. We once got to an orphanage in Kenya. So I prepared for that. You know, in Kenya, they speak Swahili. Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. You all know how to speak Swahili, I'm sure. How do I know? Hakuna Matata, right? Hakuna Matata. I see greetings coming from Montreal, from San Diego, from New York, from Cape Town, South Africa. I've been there. Los Angeles, welcome Modi'in, welcome Vancouver, Canada. Oh, you're so sweet. You make me so happy. I'd love to meet you in person when God permits. So in Kenya, I sang a song in Swahili for them. Let me teach you the song. It says, Swahili is a beautiful song. Jambo. Jambo bwana. Hello people. Habari, how are you? Mzuri sana, fine, thank you. Wageni wakaribishwa, people invited. Kenya yetu, Kenya is beautiful. Hakuna matata. Everything is going to be beautiful. Kenya inji mzuri, hakuna matata. Kenya is a beautiful country, hakuna matata. Injia, listen to this. Injia kupendeza, hakuna matata. A beloved country. Now here's this. Here it comes. Jambo, jambo bwana, habari, mzuri sana. Wageni, wakaribishwa, Kenya yetu, hakuna matata. Kenya inji mzuri, hakuna matata. Inji ya kupendeza, hakuna matata. Kenya inji mzuri, inji ya kupendeza. Jambo bwana, habari, mzuri sana. Wageni wakaribishwa, Kenya yetu hakuna matata. Kenya inji mzuri, hakuna matata. Inji ya kupendeza, hakuna matata. Kenya inji mzuri, hakuna matata. Inji ya kupendeza, hakuna matata. Inji mzuri, hakuna matata. Inji ya kupendeza, Kenya inji mzuri, hakuna matata. Inji ya kupendeza, hakuna matata. Now here am I with Ilana.
Antiquated.
Thank you, I can see you. Thank you, you're very generous. Can we go on? Here we are in a school, in a high school in Angola. 2,000 kids, all dressed in white robes. This is what they wear, this is the uniform, school uniform. They don't speak a word of English. I don't speak, what's the language in Angola? Portuguese. But we are people, we have hearts and we have brains and we can sing. So I'm playing this. I'm asking them to sing, ta, and they're singing beautifully. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da-da, ta-da-da, ta-da-da-da. I guess you know where this is going to, right? They sang, boy, did they sing. And then 2,000 kids from ages 8 to 18 were singing the music of a guy who was deaf when he wrote this music, Ludwig van Beethoven, 220 years ago. Angola, Germany, and a guy from Israel. Would you like to sing this with me? Let's go. Keep humming.
There are speakers bureaus that exist. Contact systems, CRM. So we did.
Hakuna Matata, as they say in Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. I was then invited to my love for sharing, I'll get to this later, for sharing classical music as a tool for making life even better, even more beautiful, led me to my radio show. And this is the media part. For 8 years, I led a very successful radio show on Galei Tzahal, the #1 radio in Israel, named Yisra Classy. The idea was simple. A very famous guest comes in and shares his most beloved 10 pieces, classical pieces, most beloved, with the listeners, and we would create a conversation around that. And I had everyone, from ministers to prime ministers to presidents, from Chick Corea to Ian Anderson of Jethro Tull, and Itzhak Perlman. You all know Itzhak Perlman, right? What a story. What a violinist. Nobody, I mean, there are many violin players, but no one plays like Itzhak Perlman. I was very excited for him. I was excited because of all of the classical music that he played. But I was very anxious to ask him about a little piece, maybe of insignificance for him, musically, but very moving. The music for Schindler's List. Schindler's List. So I waited for the show was around 55 minutes, and I waited for 45 minutes asking him about Mozart and Brahms and Tchaikovsky and Vivaldi, etc., waiting for the last 10 minutes to ask him about Schindler's List. And I asked him, Itzhak, how did John Williams, the famous composer he wrote for Indiana Jones, for Star Trek, how did he write such a Jewish melody? And Itzhak said, it's exactly what I've asked him. And John Williams, says Perlman, looked at me, did not say a word, and then started singing. Ta-da-da-da, ta-da-da-da-da-da, ya-da-da-da-da, ta-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, ya-da-da-da-da, ta-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, ta-da-da-da-da.
she runs Merkaz.
Now imagine it's Peltman playing this. Now let me tell you this. I was invited to perform at the US ambassador to Israel, Mr. Ambassador David Friedman and wife Tammy, some time ago. The occasion, it's always about timing. The timing was a day after President Trump declared he's going to move the American embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. And all my friends at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs were saying, wow, you got the timing. And the show was at the American ambassador's residence. And I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to sing these songs for you, but please believe me, I'm not singing this in order to provoke you. I'm singing this every show because I love this song. I love this song. And it went beautifully. A few months later, I was invited to perform at the Independence Day of the United States. It's always done on the 4th of July. But this time, I don't know, maybe schedule-wise, it was done on the 3rd of July, not on the 4th, but on the 3rd of July. And I was asked to sing a few songs, and then when the official part starts, when the ambassador and wife will come in, and our Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, and wife, Sarah Netanyahu. And I sang the Tikva Nice, and there was an American singer singing a Star Spangled Banner, the American anthem. What you cannot see now, and you couldn't see then, I was wearing, there was of course a dress code which was casual, elegant. So I wore no socks. I wore moccasins, penny loafers, and I was wearing a jacket, of course. But I was standing like 1.5 meters from my Prime Minister and wife Sarah and the ambassador and wife. So after singing Hatikva, we all went down and they went backstage. I went to have a bite, and in comes the ambassador's secretary, come and said, Mr. Netanyahu would like to have a photo with you and your wife Ilana. So we rushed over there and we were shaking hands, and I was standing by the Prime Minister and he was whispering in my ear, I love your socks. I did not lose it. I said, Prime Minister, I have another pair in my car. I can get it here right away. So this is my Benjamin Netanyahu story. But this is Jerusalem of gold. I love Jerusalem. I love Jerusalem. I'm excited every time I'm going there. So enjoy Jerusalem of gold and sing this with me. I'm always singing this abroad, telling people why they call this song Jerusalem of gold. Because when, you know, we all know that when you look at Jerusalem from west to east at dawn, at 5 or 6 p.m., depends on the season, Jerusalem actually looks like it's made of gold. So please join me in Yerushalayim Shel Zahav.
צלול כיין וריח אורנים נישא ברוח הארבעים עם כל פעמונים מופתר דמעת אילן ואבן שבויה בחלומה העיר אשר בדד יושבת ובליבה חומה ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור הלא לכל שירייך אני כינור ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושל אור הלא לכל שירייך אני כינור לשיר לך ולך לקשור כתרים קטונתי מצעיר בנייך ומאחרון המשוררים כי
שמך צורב את השפתיים כנשיקת שרף אם אשכחך ירושלים אשר כולה זהב ירושלים של זהב ושל נחושת ושלום הלא לכל שירייך ואני כינור
Do you know anyone who could like give us some like full conversation, give us advice on
אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא ועת נשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלול לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר ועת נשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא בתפארה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא ועת נשא בחפצו אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה 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 Thank you. I'd love to remind you once again that you not may, but you can ask questions. And Rebecca, I'd like to remind you that you can ask questions using the chat box over there, and I will try to answer them. If you want to stay in contact, please use Facebook. If you want to hear more about the humanitarian work we're doing, go to YouTube and other nearby many excitements, many moving moments. What else? I'd love to come and perform for you, wherever you are, in Vancouver, in San Diego, in New York, in Brooklyn, in New Jersey, in Philadelphia, in Montevideo, in Paris, in Barcelona, in Moscow, in Melbourne, everywhere. I'd love to come and see you. These are special times. And special times require special actions from special people. We are all in mourning now. We didn't expect that, the magnitude of the change. A new world is being born. And I'd like to take a moment and respect those who are not with us anymore. Let's take a moment. Thank you. May they rest in peace. I think the key word for the time to come is, I think the key word for humbleness. We should be humble. We should be modest. And I think we should be the best Jewish people and Zionist people we can be. Help others. Be generous. Be kind. And you know why? Because we've just been reminded how fragile we are. How fragile we are. I'll sing this in English and Hebrew. will flow, when flesh and steel are one, drying in the color of the evening sun. Tomorrow's rain will wash the stains away, but something in our minds will always stay. Perhaps the final act was meant to clinch a lifetime's argument, that nothing comes from violence, nothing ever could, for all those born beneath an angry star. Lest we forget how fragile we are. On and on, the rain will fall like tears from the stars, like tears from the stars. On and on, the rain will say how fragile we are, how fragile we are. עם דם ישטוף בין חרב לאדם, מתייבש בשמש של היום החם, הגשם של מחר ישטוף הכל, אך מי יודע אם נוכל למחול. אולי גם הסיבוב הזה נועד רק להמחיש את זה, שכלום לא בא מאלימות, ממנה רק נמות. אם נולדנו בכוכב אכזר, כדאי תמיד לחשוב גם על מחר. On and on, the rain will fall like tears from the stars, like tears from the stars. On and on, the rain will say how fragile we are, how fragile we are. On and on. Fragile we are, how fragile we are, how fragile we are.
I searched for every email once times. This was 301 numbers and we're down to control it.
Thank you.
Like something that
I'm
she's
seeing a
like,
question
Hollywood.
here. Who is my favorite classical composer? That's easy. Johann Sebastian Bach. Another question, how many kids do I have? I have 3 boys, Dean Benjamin, Alon Daniel, and Omer Gabriel. My wife's Ilana and my kids, right here from Shuka Carmel in Tel Aviv. Let me sing you the last song here today. Zionism 2020. Our host tonight is the World Zionist Organization. I'd like to thank Gusti, Yoshua Braverman. I'd like to thank Yaniv Nachmias. I'd like to thank Or Adi. Thank you for making this possible. Jonathan Avraham, thank you for the sound. Wonderful job. We've started with Don McLean and we'll end with Don McLean. And I remind you to be good Jewish people, good Zionist, good Menchalach, because we're so fragile. And there's such great work to be done when all of this is over, starting from today, starting from yesterday actually. So God bless us all. And this song reminds me of me, myself, when I was 14 or 15. You know how romantic we are when you are teenagers. And you know that she, whom you love, is always in love with him. So, enjoy this one. God bless us all. A long, long time ago, I can still remember how this music used to make me smile. And I knew if I had my chance, I could make those people dance, and maybe they'll be happy for a while. Did you write the book of love, and do you have faith in God above? Yes, I do. If the Bible tells you so. Now do you believe in rock and roll? And can music save your mortal soul? And can you teach me how to dance real slow? Cause I know that you're in love with him, cause I saw you dancing in the gym. You both kicked off your shoes. Man, I dig those rhythm blues. I was a lonely teenage broken buck with a pink carnation and a pickup truck, but I knew that I was out of luck the day the music died. Come on, I started singing. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry, and good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this will be the day that I die. This will be the day that I die. And the girl sang the blues, and I asked her for some happy news. She just smiled and turned away. And I went down to the sacred store where I heard this music played before, but the man there said the music wouldn't play. And in the streets the children scream, the poets cry and the lovers dream, but not a sound was spoken. The church bells were all broken, and the three men I admire most, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, they took the last train to the coast today. The music died, singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry, and good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this will be the day that I die. This will be the day that I die. Bye bye Miss American Pie, Chevy, levee, levee dry, and good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye, singing, this will be the day that I start living. This will be the day that I start living. This will be the day that I'll be reborn after this disease, Corona. This will be the day I'll start living. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining in. Thank you, WCO. Have a wonderful day, have a wonderful evening. I'm Nir Band. May God bless us all. Shalom and good night from Tel Aviv.
Bravo, bravo.
Some